I enjoyed learning about Jehovah and the paradise, so at an early age I came to love Jehovah. Yet later on, doubts just started nagging away at me. I was deeply troubled by all the horrible pain and suffering I saw on the news. Even though I knew and understood the sovereignty issue, I kept asking myself, why is it taking so long? I even started feeling a distance growing between me and Jehovah. I did a lot of praying and studying during that time. Mark and I also had many deep and meaningful conversations. Then I saw a picture in the publications of a father carrying his little son on his shoulders. That really resonated with me. I wanted that same kind of trust that a child has in his father. To feel that I could trust Jehovah without asking questions. It became a real struggle between what I mentally understood and what I was feeling emotionally in my heart. I remember earnestly praying to Jehovah so that I could feel things as Jehovah feels them. At a certain point, an elder came to visit us. He specifically asked me, "Edith, how are you doing?" His interest and concern just made me open up and tell him what I was struggling with. I remember he quoted a scripture. It was at 2 Corinthians 10, verse 5, where it says we must bring wrong thoughts into captivity. I came to realize that our way of thinking is often so limited. Jehovah sees everything. He takes all factors into consideration. As a result, those negative feelings couldn't grow and get stronger. Now I could focus on positive thoughts. That was the turning point.
Think happy thoughts, Edith. That's going to be the turning point for you. Bring wrong thoughts into captivity. We've just been hearing from Edith Millen, a Jehovah's Witness from Belgium. She's sharing her testimonial as part of the 2023 Exercise Patience Convention program. I've watched this footage 2 or 3 times now. The first time I watched it, I honestly found it quite dull. And with each progressive watch, because obviously I've been preparing this rebuttal, each time I watch it, including when I was just listening to it now, just before filming these very comments, it gets more and more chilling. And I notice things in what she's saying that disturb me anew or afresh. And especially when she says,
I wanted that same kind of trust that a child has in his father. To feel that I could trust Jehovah without asking questions.
I wanted to be like a child. I wanted to feel like I could trust Jehovah without asking questions. So Edith is shaming herself for daring to ask questions. And what were these questions? Well, we heard earlier that she had doubts due to the suffering that she was seeing when she was watching the news. She was looking at the misery, the suffering, the death that's taking place around the world. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's good stuff happening around the world as well. But let's be clear, at all points in human history, there has been misery and death and suffering. Edith was looking at this and failing to reconcile what she was seeing with an all-wise, all-knowing, all-powerful God just sitting back and folding his arms and watching it all happen because of the sovereignty issue. In other words, God's power and authority and position in the universe was more important than whether children were dying. than whether there was pain and suffering. Thousands and thousands of years of pain and suffering wasn't as important as God's sovereignty, as God showing everyone who's boss. She was having understandable doubts about that. And her epiphany was in realizing that as a Jehovah's Witness, it was her duty to become more like a child and stop asking questions.